friends. It's Trey, and Lehew's right here next to me, minding his own business, like usual. Say hi.
Trying to be silent. We're reviewing The Artist. It's a silent film.
Are you serious?
Fuck no, I can't even do that if I tried.
But no, are you being serious? Is it
No.
really a silent film?
Yes, it is it's a silent film. Today, everyone, we're reviewing The Artist, the 2011 Best Picture winner. As Trayvon said, Lehew's here, and I'm the only one who saw this. So, yay for being the film student. Whoopee!
Yeah, well, my forte is video games. You already know that.
Exactly. But you do dab into the movies when we need you to.
Yeah, I do.
And today, I'm here to talk to you about this picture. And I call it a picture because, well, it is. This is a...
That's real simple.
Let's go simplistic.
Well,
it's a movie, yay!
Well, it is. Okay, I guess it's a good explanation.
Well, this actually is a special kind of film. I mean, this is... I never thought I'd see it, where this is a modern-day silent film, and it's actually done pretty damn well. I have to say, I'm actually kind of upset none of you guys have actually gone out to see this.
Well, I'm a person that enjoys loud noises and stuff, so I don't think this silent film. Oh. You have to intrigue me.
No, I know, and I'm the same way, but we'll get into how the movie does that. Why don't I go on trying to tell you what this movie's about?
Is it about painting and stuff? Because
no.
Okay, good. What is it about?
No. The movie is set and begins in 1927, right before the era of talkie films comes into play.
Great Depression.
Well, no. Actually, seriously, the story of the movie starts with 1927, follows George Valentine, who is one of Hollywood's most successful actors at the time. He's pretty much the king of silent movies. Like, any movie that has him in it, gonna be big. It's gonna be huge because he is a great silent movie acting star. But his paths cross with a young new actor named Pepe Miller, who is riding the wave of the talkie films and the fact that you can now talk in films. And George doesn't like the whole talking in films thing. He thinks it will ruin Hollywood, and he thinks silent films are still the way to go. So while Pepe is acting in all these new talkie films and getting famous, George is slowly starting to lose his fame because he won't transfer over. So basically the story is about his whole downward spiral, about how he can't keep up with the times. And I really like the fact that this movie is really bold. It really is. To try to do a silent film, I mean,
modern day society,
and to try to do a modern day silent film and to pull it off this well with such an engaging story, it really is kind of an amazing achievement.
Yeah. It's a 2011 award winner, Best Picture winner?
Yeah, Best Picture and Best Actor winner for Jean Dujardin, who
Sounds like a fuck.
What?
Sounds like a fuck.
Have you ever seen anything with Gene Kelly?
No.
Well, he's an old actor, and the thing about Gene Kelly is that you like Gene Kelly a lot because he just had that smile that when you see it, you're like, everything's going to be all right. Doesn't matter how bad it is. Like, a nuclear bomb could be coming. If you looked at him and you saw his smile, you're like, you know what? Things are going to be okay.
I accept my death.
Yes. It's just this infectious smile that ultimately makes you happy. And this guy, John Dujardin, he has the same thing. Where even at his worst points in the movie, when he smiles, you really do feel better. You're like, oh, things are going to be all right.
In other words, it turns you gay for a moment.
No, not in that way at all, actually. No, I understand what you're saying, where it's like, ooh, that's kind of sexy. No, it's that kind of smile that you like to see on a person where you're just like, everything's going to be all right.
Okay.
But he really does give his all to this picture, and the thing that I really appreciate about silent films is that you really do depend on your actors to actually act almost twice as much because they can't talk.
Yeah.
And this guy knows that, and he really does give his all. I mean, even in the darkest points of the movie, you can see how he feels just in his facial expressions. And I think that's something that's not really seen in actors today.
Rowan Atkinson, actually.
Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, with his facial movements and his...
Well, no, but what I'm saying is to do it in a serious manner. Rowan Atkinson's a comedian.
He's a goofy... Yeah.
But I'm talking about, like, you look at this guy's face and you know, okay, he's seriously depressed, or he's seriously concerned, or he's really pissed.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just something that a lot of actors have gone away from. And this guy, John Dujardin, I pray to God he gets a good Hollywood career. I really do, because I think the guy has incredible serious talent.
Oh, that's good.
And he really does bring his A game to this. I mean, every person in this brings their A game to it. I do have to say that. The director, Michael Hazanavicius, this is a French film, and he's a French director. He actually did a couple of spy parody films with Jude Orjem called OSS 117. They're a spoof of James Bond, and I actually, after watching this, I went down and watched them. They're really fucking funny.
Well, see, but like Naked Gun did that, and so did Johnny English.
It's different though, because this one, like, while those were kind of just slapstick humor and kind of dumb, these ones were actually really smart. Like, they're actually like good stories and complicated films, but it still has it. You think of the old Pink Panther movies.
Oh, like the 60s,
exactly.
70s.
That's exactly what it was like.
I didn't really pay attention to those movies, but I thought they were all right.
Yeah. That's kind of what those films are going for, but this really does capture that spirit of an old silent film, due to the acting, which rounding out the cast is Bernice Bejo, who plays Peppy Miller, and she also does a great job. I think she did just as fine of a job as Jude Orjem did, especially in some scenes where she I'll get into that later.
Question.
Actually, yes.
Since this movie was based in the 20s. Was it in black and white, or was it colored?
Yes, it is all black and white.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, which I'm going to get into how that delves into like the feeling of the movie.
Yeah.
But your cast is rounded out by John Goodman, plays the head of the big Hollywood studio, and he actually does a very good job. And James Cronwell plays George Valentine's faithful and loyal butler, and he also does a great job. And then there's the cute doggy, who never leaves his master's side.
What kind of dog was it?
Little Jack Daniels Spaniel. I mean, Jack
Daniels? Yeah, your mind's on alcohol during
Jack Spaniel, whatever it's called.
Spaghetti?
Let's just move on.
Okay.
But the score here is... There's a lot of things that I think make this film work, and it is that you do feel like it's an old silent film. It's in black and white, and the score and the actors make you feel like it's back in like an old silent film, and so does the score. The score is lends a lot to the movie. It lends that sense of emotion and what you're supposed to feel to the movie. And the score is done by Ludwig Bors, and it is by far the best score from last year that I heard. It really does lend itself a lot to the film itself. But for as much as this movie did good, it was weird because I knew like everyone had raved about it. It won Best Picture, but maybe it was because I thought it was going to be perfect. But
did it like let you down at some points or something?
Yes. The middle of the film did lose me a lot. It does slow down almost to a screeching halt in the middle of the film, where it got to that point where I really was like, well, this is going to be hard to win me back.
Yeah. It
does get that boring, but it's like the movie looked at me and was like, oh, are you getting bored? Well, I guess it's time now for shit to hit the fan. And it just goes into this whole downward spiral that this George character is having. And you really do see the depths of what, if you do a lot of research in film, this was not only what they were portraying was happening to a lot of silent actors back then, whenever talkie films started coming in. Because they just didn't have the voices to carry over, and they all pretty much ended up either killing themselves or just fizzing out.
Killing themselves?
Because they couldn't be successful and they lost all their money.
Boo fucking who?
Well... And I think the film does a great job with dealing with that. And the film really does the way the film really won me back is that there is an unbelievable dance scene at the end in terms of just filming, choreography, editing, everything about it. The preparation that had to be done for it is astounding in how they pulled it off. Mm-hmm. And it really is one of those films that, like, it's one of those types of dance scenes that you don't see in movies anymore. It's just there is so much thought and effort put in by everyone to it to make it look amazing, and they all did a kick-ass job. Mm-hmm. But with all that aside, the movie does a great job with making you feel that it is a silent film and that it's a great narrative structure. The only complaint I really had is that I wish that narrative structure did keep me interested through the whole time, because in the middle of the movie I was fading in and out, and that, you know, it doesn't lend itself to a perfect movie. But when I first thought of this, I thought I was going to go with a matinee just because that middle got me so bad. But now that I had like a week to think about things a lot more, I can't give it a regular full. I'm going to go a very low full price because I don't think this is a movie for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't. I think this is a movie for people who generally love movies and the history of movies. I think if you know you enjoy silent films or old films, then yes, you're going to love this. But if you're new, if you love like big blockbuster stuff, I still would say at least give it a chance. Just see if you like it or not. And if anything, this film will show you an appreciation for what all those people did back then. It will make you appreciate how harder it was to make a movie than it is today.
Well, as far as my rating, I give it a question mark because I haven't seen it yet.
You have any other questions you want to ask me about it?
I'm not that big on questions when it comes to things. No, I only had the questions about like if it was in black and white, and when you talk about silent film, that like there was like no like as far as like speaking like text pop up on the screen, you know?
Yes, text. They have text boxes pop up on the screen periodically.
Okay. All right, that was the last question I had.
Yep. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go back to being silent.
And I'm going to touch myself.
Okay, it is really hard to stay silent after hearing that.